Vanilla Zulu. Vanilla Zulu.
So you can never have too many chicken recipes up your sleeve. So I'm going to show you a very glamorous sweet potato, sage and bacon stuffed chicken flatty. Now it's going to be oozing with flavor, color and personality, and best of all, it's easy to do. So all we need to get started with is we're just going to make our stuffing first of all, and obviously a traditional stuffing would be something like sage and onion, but I think we're all a bit tired of that filling. So what we're going to go for is something a little bit more trendy. Now, of course, sweet potato is terribly trendy at the moment, and you might often have some sweet potato or even pumpkin mash left over from a previous meal. Now, it's a wonderful way to get rid of that and to hide it is use it in another dish. So if you are short of time and if you don't have any of that sweet potato mash, this doesn't look terribly glamorous at the moment, but that's a sweet potato that I put into the microwave for about 12 minutes and it's nicely cooked and the flesh is perfect, so we can use it in this dish. I'm going to start off with just a little bit of chopped onion and get that cooking. We're also going to add some finely diced bacon. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more glamorous, of course, we can use things like speck or pancetta, but of course, good old-fashioned bacon is absolutely fabulous. Now, as you can see, this pan is sizzling hot. I've just put a little bit of olive oil in there, or even a vegetable oil, and then the bacon can go in too. Now, if you do cook bacon quite often, and there is a bit of liquid coming off your bacon, it could be a simple fix as not stirring it as much. And also, when you put the bacon in, I'm sure you heard the sizzle when it went in. It's got to really be nice and hot so that that bacon can seal off and sear nice and quickly. So while the onion and the bacon are in the frying pan, they don't need much attention at all. I'll give them a stir in a moment. We can get our garlic ready. Now, I'm sure I've shown you this before, but the quickest way and the easiest way to crush your garlic is just a little bit of salt onto your chopping board, and then we're just going to get that to a nice, easy mince, garlic mince, by using a good old-fashioned fork. So I'm sure you've all got one of those in your kitchen. Of course, the salt is going to hold it on the board and actually just add a bit of abrasive to it so that that minces down nice and fast. Now, you obviously do have to put your muscles into it and get it nice and mashed, but that's a really quick and easy way to do your garlic, because generally when we're cooking, we've got a chopping board dirty anyway. So that can go in there. Now, as you can see here, I haven't really stirred the bacon too much. It's still sizzling, so it's all about maintaining the heat in your pan. So this is on a really nice high temperature, and we're just going to get those onions nice and soft and the bacon nice and cooked, and then we can add a variety of different ingredients, but of course we're going to add our sweet potato mash. So that's come straight out of that microwaved sweet potato, and we can just mash it down. Like I said, if you've got any leftover pumpkin or butternut or sweet potato, well, you can get rid of that and use it too. It's a fabulous way of using leftovers. So of course we need to make sure the flavor is really nice, and generally when we're stuffing birds, we would stuff it into the cavity, but in the cavity of the bird, we're not really going to taste that flavor, and nothing's really going to cook into the bird. So this is a really quick and easy technique, and just something a little bit different that you can use for your next family meal or even when you're entertaining. So while that's cooking up, we've got our little bird out here. I'm going to grab him by the leg, and then you don't have to use a big knife like that. A little knife will do, but we're just going to sacrifice that backbone there. So always make sure you've got the back and not the breast. And again, we just break his breastbone and flatten them out. Now, obviously, when that chicken is flat, all that bone is going to be exposed to the cooking, whatever you're cooking it on, and of course, we can get it to cook a little bit faster. But of course, we're going to stuff this bird, so do allow some cooking time. It only takes about 35 minutes. Now, with your hands, we're just going to loosen just the skin all the way, even down to that drumstick. So for the first time, you can actually have stuffing presenting on that drumstick, and that really is going to add a little bit of excitement and flavor to your next roast chicken. So just loosen it like that. It's very easy to do, so please don't think this is going to be difficult. And all we've got is a lovely pocket or an envelope for our beautiful filling to cook onto that chicken. Now, I use this recipe if I'm doing something for Christmas. You can do this with a relatively small turkey, cut it down the backbone, get it flat, and then obviously that stuffing is going to add so much more personality. So that is ready to go. I can, of course, just make sure that when this bird is stuffed, it's still got lovely color as well. So, of course, we can suntan that chicken just by adding some dry spices on there. Of course, you can blend it up all into a paste, but I'll just show you a quicker way if it's already on the chopping board. A little bit of oil, and of course, if you're not going to use extra oil, by all means, use some water. And we're just going to give a little rub down, get all that color nice and well distributed. Just always be careful when you're using turmeric. Obviously, that is going to stain your hands as well as the chicken. So I'll get my hands clean, and then we'll come back to this. So when that onion is nice and soft and the bacon is beautiful and brown and fragrant, we can turn off the heat. We can also add a little bit of your favorite herb. Now, of course, you must mix and match, and you can make this different every time. I've got a little bit of freshly chopped sage, so that can go straight in. Of course, you can use your dried herbs up as well. And then our lovely butternut flesh can go straight into there. So I really like this. It's one pot cooking, and you don't have to mess up the entire kitchen. So, like I said, be adventurous. This might even be the perfect time to make a spinach and ricotta stuffing. Anything like that at all. I'll put some more recipe ideas up for you at the end of this. So we're just going to stir that nice and together. And of course, this can go into the chicken still warm if we're going to cook it straight away. But this could be done the day before if you are wanting to do a planned meal. So just get that nicely stirred through, and that is our beautiful butternut, sage and bacon stuffing ready to go into the bird. So it is very easy to stuff this bird, so don't be intimidated. Onto a suitable roasting tray. So once this is cooled down a bit and it's easy to handle, we're just going to lift the skin here, starting from the neck side, and you're literally just going to feed that down. Make sure it goes all the way through to the drumstick, because we all have our favorite parts of the chicken, and you want those who have the drumstick to get this lovely filling as well. So 2 or 3 spoons down each side, and then what we're going to do is just feed it down, and you obviously had to loosen the skin first, all the way down over the thigh, and we just keep adding it in there. So this obviously, as you can see, will make your chicken feed a lot more people. So if you are wanting to extend your chicken, this is the perfect way to bulk it up. So we get all that stuffing in there. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy. It's all going to add to the flavor and to the personality. So that was about a cup of the sweet potato or butternut or pumpkin flesh. You can add as much bacon as you like. Of course, when you've done it a few times, you might want to start adding different cheeses, maybe a goat's cheese or a Danish feta. You can even add a parmesan or a straightforward cheddar. So that really is up to you. So once you've got that chicken beautifully stuffed, you can reshape the bird, and then this can be left for serving with the dish, so don't throw away any of the extra stuffing. And then all we need to do is put that into the oven, and I'm going to recommend a temperature of about 200 or 220 degrees, so it can be quite nice and hot and fast, and it'll take about 25 to 30 minutes depending on the size of your bird.
Vanilla